Not surprisingly, Feinberg's enthusiasm for his pay plan is not much shared by people on Wall Street. There, the general sentiment seems to be that top talent will leave the companies that are trying to recover and trying to pay back the federal bailout funds. Here's Dan Harris.
The notion of cutting pay for the executives at the companies that got bailouts may be viscerally satisfying to a lot of Americans, but today on Wall Street, many are arguing that these pay cuts will actually be bad for all of us. Late today, Bank of America put out a statement saying if they can't pay people based on their performance, they'll lose them, and that their competitors are already exploiting the situation. An executive at another affected company warned of a brain drain.
I know on the political side it looks really good that, the government's doing something against these companies that were bailed out. But if you really want these companies to go out and earn their way out of these problems, they got to be able to retain talent.
This is, of course, a hard argument to swallow if you're on the unemployment line, which is why you will hear a lot of nose analogies. That we have to hold our nose and allow these big payouts to continue, because to micromanage the banks would be to cut off our nose to spite our face.
After all, the argument goes, taxpayers have already invested billions in these companies. If we cut executive salaries now and they lose their best people, they won't pay taxpayers back and they won't start lending money again, which is bad for the entire economy.
People just have to take a step back, realize this is for the good of society, and let these companies do what they do best.
But really, do competent executives really need to make so much money to stay on the job? Well, General Motors is reportedly having trouble finding a new chief financial officer because the salary is capped by the government at $1 million. One creative solution being floated today, that Ken Feinberg should tell executives that they'll be paid more if and when their companies pay back those billions in bailout dollars.
Tying managerial performance to money going back to taxpayers is something that he should focus on.
Of course, there are some people on Wall Street who say cutting pay is a good idea, but still the vast majority of Wall Streeters we spoke with today say it's a big mistake and that Americans need to learn to live with an ugly truth of capitalism, that sometimes infuriating unfairness may be for the good of all of us. Dan Harris, ABC News, New York.